This is going to be the story on how I scaled my business to $60,000 a month and documented it every single week. So obviously we're not there yet. This is the beginning, and like any good story, that's where it starts. But the best part about a good story is the characters involved. And I like to think the best stories are ones where you relate or understand the characters better. So I thought before we start going into weekly breakdowns of profit, revenue, clients, goals, timelines, all of that this could be a chance to introduce myself, some of my credentials, and why I believe that this will be the place that you can find value on helping to grow your business. So let's start at the most obvious, which is my name. My name is Tom. I'm from Western Australia. I'm 28 years old, and I run a creative agency called Stay A While. We specialize in content for Facebook ads. That's our bread and butter. We help create anything from UGC to studio imagery, studio videos, graphic ads, whatever it needs to be to really help a brand generate more sales online. And my background, to be just very blunt, was I've been in this space for 10 years. I started off just doing freelance photography and videography for small and local businesses around Perth, and I felt so grateful that people even paid me money to enter their work and create content. And just, it sounds so silly, but what we get to do, what creatives get to do, I think it's like one of the best things on earth. We bring something to life that never existed before, and then is completely subjective to the people who consume it. It's such a wild art form, and yeah, I'm in love with it. And that thread kind of led me down the road of marketing. I was working with General Pants, and I received a brief for an upcoming photo shoot with a local influencer. And this light bulb moment went off where I was like, what is the purpose of this content? Which sounds so silly in hindsight, but I used to be so caught up in the creative process of just like execution that I didn't think about the afterthought, because I was just the photographer. I had no desire or need to understand what these assets would be used for. Lo and behold, these assets would be used for anything from billboards to Facebook ads. And although billboards is harder to track in terms of return on investment, Facebook ads isn't. And it really started to become an interesting subject to me, and I wanted to figure out the best way to go about it. And funnily enough, the stars aligned, and I actually got a job working for a local marketing agency called Brand Booster. Originally, I went into Brand Booster to do a lighting introduction, and just so happens that later on down the line, I got offered the chance to be a creative lead. And that was some of the most fulfilling work I've ever done in a workplace. Although the outcome of that work environment was not one that I'd hoped, clearly, here we are. And although there is a lot of past emotions and trauma tied up to that event and workplace, having hindsight now as someone who works with contractors and works with people sometimes within a boss capacity, I have a lot more understanding and appreciation for the way things went. And I know as time's progressed, myself and my old employer have become much closer in a professional and personal way. And I think it's because of that hindsight, which I'd encourage anyone to, although it sounds obvious, when these moments happen, professional or personal, just that ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes or even try to live that experience, that level of hindsight, hindsight's the wrong word, that level of understanding will make you so much more empathetic to people and what they go through. So while I don't recommend traumatic events, I think the more you collect, the more empathetic you are as a person. Anyway, back to it. This was originally going to be an Instagram series, just posting reels, 1 to 2 minute reels, just kind of spitting out what I did on a daily basis. And very quickly I arrived at the conclusion that the value and the story I'm trying to tell is bigger than 1 to 2 minutes. If it isn't obvious by now, I'm a yapper. I love chatting, and I wanted to do it in the most authentic and honest way possible. And for me, although this may not be a one take, it's as close as I can humanly get. And it's going to allow me to really start to break down some of the processes that have helped me generate millions for some of my clients. And my hope, my genuine hope, is that one of you, or God forbid two, takes some of these learnings and applies them to either your own business or your clients, and it works. Marketing is a wishy-washy area. It's this gray zone, not one size fits all when it comes to this practice. And I've experienced many failures. I've offered refunds, I've had to do free months, I've done free content. These are the stories and insights that I really want to share. I want to sit down with clients that I've failed and go through what went wrong so you never have to. I'll call bullshit when I see it. There's a lot of things in marketing that I don't believe in, that I don't endorse, I don't support. I hate the way some of these brands operate, truly. I think a lot of these brands show face more than anything and virtue signal above all else. And I really want to have honest and informed chats around marketing decisions that are being made and how yourself or your clients can start to implement them. And to be honest, this is the plan moving forward. There'll be 2 videos a week. We'll have one video where I break down what has happened in the week of business, going through, as I mentioned before, more of the logistical stuff. And the second video is going to be my lesson of the week. And I think I'm very, very fortunate enough with the work that I've chosen and the profession I'm in that I learn a lot and I learn quick. And because of that, I'm inundated with the amount of value that I receive, and that's a blessing. And I think an even greater honor is being able to pass that on to you guys. I swear I'm late. I can be inconsiderate at times, and sometimes I'm very rushed with what I do. And I'm trying to be better. And I'm hoping that by putting this out here and having some accountability as a human, that regardless of my work, you feel like you know me. So to keep it simple, this is the beginning of my journey on YouTube, but also the beginning of the next chapter of my business. There's been a lot of changes, name changes, almost got sued. There's a lot of things happening or happened, and I want to document that. So thank you for listening so far. It does mean a lot. And I really hope to see you next week. Imagine if I didn't hit record, I would